interview today with an absolutely outstanding individual. Her name's Sarah Tattersfield, and she's actually been working with me for around about the past 5 years. So she's been doing what we do for 5 years, and I'm not going to take any more time away from her. I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her background. So welcome, Sarah, to the interview. Thank you very, very much for spending some time out of your hectic schedule. I know you didn't get in till about 2 o'clock this morning because you went to see a certain Mr. Bieber. So thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come and chat to us. So if you could just give us some of your background and also tell us what life was like before we started working together.
Yeah, I can't believe you just outed me as a Bieber fan. Yeah, I mean, as you say, we met about 5 years ago. At the time, I was a part-time fitness instructor, and we met on a training course, didn't we? So, but I was actually the fitness was a bit of a paid hobby, just something I really enjoyed doing. I was really into my fitness, and somebody just said, would you like to teach? Would you like to help out? We think you'd be good at it. So I started doing that as a little bit of a paid hobby, but my main job was I worked for a corporate law firm. It was very long hours, very stressful. I was working in the personal injury department, lots of targets, lots of, people over your shoulder all the time. Have you done this? Have you done that? And to be honest, I was well paid, really well paid. But I had no time at all. I've got 2 children. I had to go back to work when both of them were 3-month-old. So because of the nature of my job as well, it was a very male orientated environment. So not to be sexist, but it was quite difficult as a female, because generally when your children need things off from school, or you need to be at things, it does generally fall to mum to be there when kids are poorly, etc. And I didn't get a lot of sympathy or a lot of understanding with that. So whilst, as I say, from the outside, people would have thought I probably had quite a good job and a good lifestyle, I actually didn't. I was quite unhappy, and it actually ultimately made me quite ill. So I ended up having to leave that job. But then it was a case of, well, what do I do? Just had no idea what to do then.
Okay, so when I got involved in the company, because I remember your personality standing out from the course that we were on, and we'd connected quite a bit before, hadn't we, in I suppose the virtual world and at various workshops and all that kind of stuff around the country. When I actually asked you to get involved and have a look at what I was doing and see whether this was a good fit for you around what you were doing, did you have any reservations about getting involved? I mean, tell me a little bit about that.
I did initially, because I'd actually been involved in a multi-level marketing company prior to the one that I'm involved in now, and I really liked the concept of multi-level marketing. It really excited me, but unfortunately, the company that I was prior to Herbalife, the product just didn't fit with me, and I think that was key. I needed to find a product and a company that fit with me, which the other one didn't. So I was actually quite open to it, but then I was also a little bit hesitant because it hadn't worked out for me in the last company.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the fundamental difference, if you could pin it down?
Well, with Herbalife, it was certainly a much better marketing plan, a much better compensation plan than the previous company. And as I say, the product just really jumped out at me as something that I could get passionate about, that I could get excited about, whereas the previous company hadn't been really. I'm not saying it wasn't a good product, it just wasn't a product that was for me. Yeah,
I got it. So with how you're working now, you're actually working with your other half, aren't you? And he was pretty sceptical when you first decided, mainly because I suppose past history, you can understand. So how's that working out now? Obviously working as a couple, being able to travel around and do everything together.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, yeah, my husband was very sceptical initially. He comes from a sales background, car sales. So he was, knew all the ins and outs, all the tricks of the trade, as it were, with sales, and felt a little bit like I was getting out of my depth with it, that I didn't know what I was doing. And obviously, because I had a little bit of a bad experience previously, he was protective. So didn't want me to get involved, but I managed to get him to come along to one of our meetings, and that really opened his eyes. Actually, he was really impressed and really inspired by what he heard there, so he changed his view quite quickly, actually, once he'd sort of done a bit of research and just been a bit open-minded and listened, to be fair. And yeah, now, I mean, he left his job 3 years ago this month, actually, his full-time job. He left to work in the business full-time with me. And it's been amazing, to be honest. I mean, we've been married 25 years, and I have to say, even just having been married for that length of time, but having now been able to work with my best friend, basically, every day.
You're thinking the same, like you are like best friends.
Oh yeah, I mean, he is my best friend, and after 25 years, he's still my best friend, and it's great. We get to all the things that if I was doing this on my own, I would be going off to trips and doing all the amazing, wonderful events that we go to. I would be going on my own. It's actually great that we can go together and experience it together. So that is actually one of the most amazing things about the business, to be fair.
Brilliant. So what do you think turned him around from being incredibly skeptical? I mean, did he see that you essentially weren't selling anything? You were just literally excited about what you were doing, and people were just naturally asking you what was going on? I mean, what was the turning point for him? Was it the actual physical going to a meeting or a seminar to actually see all of these people? What do you think it was?
Yeah, I think the meeting was certainly the big turning point. I mean, once I started using the products myself, and he actually saw the difference in me, because I'd become quite stressed and quite unhealthy, really, with the job that I was in. It made me quite ill, and I sort of, because I was passionate about these products, they really did work for me. They helped me feel much better in myself, and he could see that I was excited to talk to other people about them. I got a bit of my sparkle back, which obviously sort of was good for him to see. But I think it was ultimately, he could see that it was a really, really simple business model. It was literally me being excited about the products, talking to people, and then really wanting to know what I was doing. And then when he came over to the meeting, they sort of went through the business plan in a lot more detail. And Andy was, as I say, coming from a sales background, he had a business brain, and he recognised that, this was a really, really good business model, but it was something that we could incorporate quite simply into what we were doing already, our daily lives, and it wasn't going to be something that would create too much. We wouldn't have to be away and working long hours, etc., like I was doing, especially. Initially, it was so flexible.
So I like to think of network marketing and certainly our company as a real good plug-in. Like how if you're a techie guy out there, you'll understand plugins and all that kind of stuff for your websites. This is exactly what we do. We plug it in and around our lives, because it's essentially a lifestyle business. So, I mean, you've worked your socks off. I mean, you've worked incredibly hard over the last 5 years. So what's the process been like working with me, and also the lifestyle that you now enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we have worked hard. We've not, where we've come to in the company now hasn't happened overnight. And yeah, there has been, a lot of hard work put in there. But when I liken the hard work that I've had to put into this to the hard work that I did in my previous job, it doesn't compare, because it's all for me. It's my choices. It's on my terms and on my time. And the reward is there. It's mine. I know that every ounce of effort and work I put into this business is coming back to me. It's not coming back to somebody else who's higher up there, telling me what to do, and I'm going home with a wage that's just set for, I get back what I put into this. So that's been really, really key for me. Working with yourself has been great, because obviously we were friends before. It wasn't a real problem for me to come into the business anyway, because I trusted you, I liked you, I knew that you would have my best interest at heart. And I think we actually work quite well together, because we're fairly similar personalities as well. So I think that's been helpful. But having said that, I think there's been obviously a lot of times when we have been able to help each other as well.
Well, yeah.
So it's a real reciprocal business relationship, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
You aren't, you don't sort of tell me what to do. It's very much so, how do you think we can get here? How do you think the best way is to do that? And I think that's really important, because in my previous job, as I say, I was very much, this is your target, get it done. If you don't get it done, you take it home in a big pile of files for the weekend. If you haven't got it done by Monday, I want to know why. And it was just all the time. I
absolutely love that about this company, this industry, because it doesn't matter where you are in the company, you always learn off everybody else. It doesn't matter whether they're a brand new member into the business, or whether they're a customer, or whether they've been working with you side by side for 5 odd years. you still learn from each other day in, day out, and it's one of those things that is absolutely, you know, priceless. So just with this process of working with me, I know you've got some challenges, obviously, with Gabe. How have you found this way of working to help you out in some of the challenges that I suppose you got? If you don't mind elaborating on that a little bit.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, the challenge that you're referring to, just for everybody to understand, is that my youngest child, Gabriel, is 12. He was actually diagnosed with autism, Asperger's, when he was 4. And it comes with challenges because Gabe has a lot of these issues. He has to be in certain routines, doesn't adapt to change too well, has some little foibles and things that can be quite a challenge sometimes when, you know, he'll have outbursts and things. And it's the fact that I am here, no matter what, I can work my day around him. One of the worst things when I was working in corporate law was when I used to turn up at school on the odd occasions when I could go and pick him up, and the other mums would look at me like, "Who's this woman?" It was like nobody knew who I was because he was always picked up by a childminder or my mum or my husband's mum. So being able to just get up and if we're having a bad day, or if we have to be somewhere, or if Gabe needs something, and say, do you know what, I can control my day completely today. I can rearrange that appointment over there, move that over there. I can maybe do that a bit later in the day, is just priceless. And it's something that I would never have had. I used to have to beg for, you know, can I work through my lunch to leave half an hour because I've got a hospital appointment. And any, you know, anybody that's gone through, and even now, even though Gabe has a diagnosis, we still have to have regular referral. We still have to have regular reviews with a paediatrician and, you know, child services and things like this. So being able to just go when they send me an appointment, yeah, that's fine. I can do that. No problem. Is great. That is just perfect. It's priceless.
I'll tell you, a great standout moment for me was because I know that you can suffer with, or have some challenges, shall we say, with social interaction and what have you.
Yeah.
We went on a phenomenal vacation, didn't we? Or holiday this March, I think it was, or May, to a beautiful resort in Greece, courtesy of the company, and to see him interacting and playing with all of the other members' children was just wicked. You know, it really, I suppose, brought him out of himself, and you could see it in you guys as well, how much more relaxed you were seeing him, you know, engaging with other members of the company's children and just having a great time.
Yeah, and the nice thing is that, unfortunately, one of the things with Asperger's is that they aren't very socially adept, and that can sometimes isolate them from other children who don't understand. But because over the 5 years, we have been on sort of the company vacations together, and obviously other members bring their children. Every year he's going on holiday with the same kids, so he's forging these friendships, and he's more relaxed, and they're more accepting of his challenges. So actually the holidays for us are so great, because any other holiday, you're always worried about, right, if he meets a child on the holiday that he doesn't know, how are they going to react to him? How's he going to react to them? Is it going to be stressful? Are the parents going to understand if there's any little niggles? But all the children on the Herbalife and the corporate holidays that we go on know Gabe. They're all friends now, so it's so much more relaxing. It's great.
He's a tablet ninja as well, so all the kids flock to him because they want to know how to do all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is great.
Real iPad expert.
So what's if you could pick one result that's been one result that you've got from working with me, or your favorite result that you've got from working with me over the last 5 years, what would it be?
I think it's probably that's a really difficult one, actually, Matt. It result as in what do you think? Because to be fair, the whole experience, the whole 5 years has been a real growth period for me, because, as I say, we've become really good friends. We were sort of associates and friends before, but we've become really, really good friends. And I suppose for me, being a little bit more business minded has come from you, because although I worked in a corporate environment, I wouldn't have said I was particularly business minded.
Okay.
I'm intelligent, you know. I'm not unintelligent, but because I've always worked for other people, you know, I was brought up that you get a job, you work 9 to 5, and you pay the bills, and then you die. But I was always sort of, I would have procedures and things to follow, and would just follow those. Mm-hmm. And I was good at that, but I wasn't particularly good at thinking outside the box, I don't think. And I think through, network marketing obviously makes you think outside the box a little bit more and gives you that bit more entrepreneurial. But I certainly think that you've encouraged me to be more entrepreneurial, definitely.
More creative, more.
Yeah.
Okay,
A little bit more, as I say, more entrepreneurial, more think a bit bigger. You've always encouraged very much, dream big, have the big goals, have the big, and as I come from quite a working class family, as I say, I sort of didn't really think like that. So I've certainly become a bit more savvy definitely more savvy business wise, and very much more entrepreneurial since meeting you.
Yeah, but the great thing is to see you guys keep your feet on the ground as well, because you have the ability to live a lavish lifestyle if you wanted to, but you keep it real and you keep it humble and feet on the ground, which is absolutely fantastic, which is really what we want and who we really want to work with. So to close, what advice, just one piece of advice would you give to someone who is maybe umming and ahhing about getting involved in network marketing, multi-level marketing, whatever you want to call it, the industry, but maybe have had their opinions passed to them, if you know what I mean, and maybe a little bit nervous about getting involved? What would you advise?
I mean, certainly I can speak more of this from the company that we're involved in. That I would just certainly say that there isn't really any risk. There is no risk because you're the master of what you're doing, and you choose. And certainly with our company, you're very, very well protected. I can't obviously speak for other multi-level marketing companies, but for me, the concept is just so simple that it's a no-brainer, really. There isn't really any risk because you're controlling how successful your business is. It rises and fails on you. It's not the business, it's not the concept, it's not multi-level marketing that's the risk. It's your work ethic or what you do with it that is the thing that's going to determine whether it succeeds or not. So if you are concerned about being involved in this business because you think it might not work, then don't be. Because if you're prepared to work and you're prepared to put in the hours and learn and understand the business, you'll see that it's actually very, very straightforward. And I actually don't understand why everybody isn't doing it, to be honest. I really don't.
I think the often misconception is that that it's a get rich quick scheme, or it's a scam, or whatever. And I think what people can be deluded when they come to the industry because of maybe how it's been shown to them in some areas, which is what we're trying to do with these videos and what have you, is help to dispel some of the myths and what have you, because we both worked incredibly hard for what we have. And I think my main message, and I think from what you just said, your main message is that you don't come to this company or any company and expect to be given something for nothing. It takes hard work, hours, but it's flexible about what it is that you want to give, but be wise in your expectations of what it's going to give you back based on what you're putting in.
Yeah, absolutely. As I say, it's not the company or the model or anything like that would fail. It would be you not putting the work in. If you put the work in and you go into this and you learn and you build and you create, it is an absolutely amazing business to be involved in. The sky is the limit. There's no ceilings on it. Your success is limited by you and you alone, and that's it.
Fantastic. And we're going to end it there because I can't think of any better way to end the call. So thanks so much for your time, Sarah. Really, really appreciate you giving up some time out of your business to have a chat to me. And I will see you very, very soon.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. No problem at all. Thanks. Bye-bye.